And we're back with the Screen Team on today's Talk 930 KWOC. The show is being brought to you by Poplar Bluff Drywall, also Fearless Social, and Whitworth Gift Chest Jewelers, where Walmart is next door to us. And if you're curious about the Screen Team, you want to learn more, check out our official website at ScreenTeamPB.com. You can check out our latest reviews, and you can meet the Screen Team members. You can meet folks like Maisha and Sabrina, get to know what some of their favorite movies are, who some of their favorite actors and actresses are as well. It's all at ScreenTeamPB.com. The next film is called Pleasantville. It's a 1998 American fantasy film which was written, directed, and produced by a fellow named Gary Ross. The film stars Tobey Maguire, Jeff Daniels, Joan Allen, Reese Witherspoon, and William H. Macy. The film was released back from Warner Brothers in 1998. Pleasantville, Maisha, why do you like this film?
I like this film just because, for one, it begins out so lighthearted, and for the actual end tone of the movie, they still kept it fairly light. There's so many movies about race and things that happened in the 50s and the 60s, and they're very dark. And this one kept it really light. And in all actuality, there were no black people really in the film.
I don't think there was any.
You didn't see any of them, but they still split it at the end of the day, where when you start to really come into your own and discover who you are, and you're not afraid to be who you are, then all of a sudden you're split. You're not following, again, the status quo. Yeah. And all of a sudden, my favorite scene in the movie is where they walk in, they see the beds are no longer separate. There's one big bed, and it's just such a scandal. Yeah. And now it's no colors allowed. And I remember watching that, and I thought, wow, what a unique play on how it really was.
Racism, yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those, if you like, I see you got your colored girlfriend a nice umbrella. It is. And for the people that are older would look at it and say there actually are no colored people in this movie, but they took it and spun it in such a way they really made you pay attention, at least for me. Yeah. It's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, every time I come in from lunch and that movie's on HBO, Maisha's watching it, man. She loves it. But it's a good movie. And the movie starts off with, you got Tobey Maguire and Reese Witherspoon, and they kind of live, I guess, in the real world, per se. Everything's all color. Everything's normal, basically. I guess they're both high school students.
They are.
And Tobey Maguire is a huge fan of this TV show called Pleasantville, which is like a Leave It to Beaver type of TV show where it's set in the 1950s and everything is,
hunky-dory.
Everything is perfect. It's pleasant, exactly. And
it never rains.
No,
it doesn't. It doesn't. And for some reason, both of these characters get transported into the town of Pleasantville. And then Reese Witherspoon decides to mess everything up by hooking up with Paul Walker. And then color starts to be introduced into the world, and that kind of starts off. That kind of starts the line of everything going different in the world. Sabrina, did you like Pleasantville?
I really did, actually. I mean, there are things about it that bug me, and it's usually involving the actors they have playing certain characters. And
which actors didn't you like?
Reese Witherspoon and Toby both are just. They're very unique people, and it's hard for me to cross them from one character to another sometimes.
So sometimes you feel like they play the same
and role? I feel like I'm not watching the same movie, but the same characters.
Right.
And the black and white really helps with that transition, but that aside, I forgave them for being them, after a while. I got into the story and let go of my I guess my biases, against the characters, the people, the actors. And which is good because I bought into the character then and then into the story. And as soon as they introduced, this is towards the last quarter of the movie when they finally introduced the theme. It's not about everything being perfect in your world. It's about what happens when you become educated and you see the world differently. And the comparison to racism is very clear. I disagree with you. I don't think this is a movie about racism. I think this is a movie about seeing the world clearly. You can have your misconceptions about how perfect your world is and then understand that the world isn't perfect, but that's okay. It's still a good place to live. And what happens is the black and white realm of this world where it never rains, the firemen never have to do anything but remove kittens from trees and things like that. They're so naive and so uneducated about their true place in this world.
Yeah.
But when they throw the lines in, oh, you got your colored girlfriend an umbrella, that's when they throw that racism comparison, that parallelism, I call it, into the mix. And so it gives you even more meaning to seeing your world around you clearly.
You know, I thought this movie reminded me a lot of Inside Out, where the fact is, you know, you don't need to have the joy or the perfectness all the time. You know, like
you got to have a little sadness and
a little rain every now and then, and you know,
it's like you have to have the storm to appreciate when it's clear.
right when the sun comes back out.
So I will agree with you, Sabrina. That's a different take on it. I didn't take that away from it initially, and I've seen this movie, I don't know, maybe 785 times.
Do you see it more clearly now?
I do. Everything is so colorful.
Speaking of the colors, I mean, this movie was shot so beautifully. I mean, you have the black and white shots, but then when you have the black and white shots in with the color shots, gorgeous. Some of the prettiest cinematography I've seen in a movie, and a lot of those shots were done with CGI. This movie had a ton of CGI in it, and it's cool because it's not something that you can really tell or you
don't have a dinosaur walking across.
You don't have like a fake dinosaur walking across the screen. You've got this beautiful mixture of color and black and white together, and it looks awesome. It really does.
I love it. I just thought that they did a very, very good job with the movie. And overall, I guess the tone would be educating yourself.
Yeah. Well,
and people being afraid of what they don't understand.
Right.
It's that fear. And when they had the town hall meeting, and he's like, all those feelings are inside of you.
Not me.
Not me.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah. And
yeah,
to invoke those
feelings. You just
feelings.
have to recognize it in yourself.
Yeah.
I don't like hearing Don Knotts curse, though.
I know, it was weird.
What did he say?
He says the GD and
did he really?
Yeah,
Yes.
and he says all those things, and I just didn't care for that.
Oh
It was
my
totally
goodness.
unnecessary.
What a baby! All right, coming up, we're going to get educated with the great debaters. That's coming your way next on Today's Talk 930 KWOC.